You wake up in the morning and the First Lady puts out a statement demanding you be fired from your job. We've all been there, right?
That was Jimmy Kimmel after President Trump called for ABC to fire him again.
I said, our First Lady Melania is here. Look at her, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow, which obviously was a joke about their age difference and the look of joy we see on her face every time they're together. It was a very light roast joke about the fact that he's almost 80 and she's younger than I am.
Kimmel gave a monologue on his show 2 days before a gunman opened fire at the White House Correspondents Dinner. The First Lady called his words corrosive, and later President Trump said on social media that Kimmel should, quote, be immediately fired by Disney and ABC. Now, all this is a similar demand from President Trump after remarks that Kimmel made in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination. Back then, ABC suspended the show indefinitely, only to bring it back on the air in less than a week. Kimmel pointed out that he has been, quote, bold for many years in speaking out against gun violence.
Well, I agree that hateful and violent rhetoric is something we should reject. I do, and I think a great place to start to dial that back would be to have a conversation with your husband about it, because, by the way, I also should point out, Donald Trump is allowed to say whatever he wants to say, as are you, and as am I, as are all of us, because under the First Amendment, we have, as Americans, a right to free speech.
CNN has reached out to representatives for ABC and Kimmel for comment.
Just 2 days prior to the shooting, ABC's late-night host Jimmy Kimmel disgustingly called First Lady Melania Trump an expectant widow. Who in their right minds says a wife would be glowing over the potential murder of her beloved husband?
And this morning, we are tracking the fallout between the White House and late-night comedy show host Jimmy Kimmel. Questions this morning on whether Kimmel will be forced off the air. The president and First Lady Melania Trump calling on ABC and Disney to fire him following comments he made last week prior to the assassination attempt of the president. During a comedy skit here, he made fun of the White House Correspondents Dinner. Kimmel referred to the First Lady as an expectant widow. We have decided on this show not to air that soundbite, but we want to show you what he said. This right here, this is the quote. And of course, our First Lady Melania is here, looking so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow. That was the message right there that Melania was not pleased with at all. Yesterday, in a rare Instagram post, the First Lady spoke out about this, and then the president took to social media. At the very bottom of his lengthy message, he says right here, Jimmy Kimmel should be immediately fired by Disney and ABC. ABC and Disney have not responded. You'll recall last year ABC briefly suspended the late-night show altogether amid comments he made following the assassination of Turning Point founder and believer conservative Charlie Kirk. During last night's airing of Jimmy Kimmel, Kimmel tried to backpedal his comments from last week, but the White House appears poised to go after him, and they're going to do it strongly, again, pushing for him to be fired. ABC and Disney have not released a statement yet. We'll track that for you right here at the live desk this morning.
That was White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt this afternoon, hours after the First Lady called for Jimmy Kimmel to be fired. They were expressing outrage over a sketch the ABC late-night talk show host did last Thursday, 2 days before the White House Correspondent Dinner and the attack on Saturday night. In Kimmel's monologue, he pretends to be the master of ceremonies for the dinner, delivering jokes. Here's the one the White House is calling out.
And of course, our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
This morning, First Lady Melania Trump took to X, writing in part, Kimmel's hateful and violent rhetoric is intended to divide our country. His monologue about my family isn't comedy. His words are corrosive and deepens the political sickness within America. She added, enough is enough. It's time for ABC to take a stand. How many times will ABC's leadership enable Kimmel's atrocious behavior at the expense of our community? Minutes after Caroline Leavitt spoke, the president made a post describing Kimmel's joke as, quote, despicable call to violence, and went on to say Jimmy Kimmel should be immediately fired by Disney and ABC. So far, there's been no response from Kimmel or ABC. He is shortly going to be recording his show for tonight and will likely address the controversy. Of course, this is not the first time he's faced calls to resign or be fired from the Trump administration. Last summer, he mocked the president for talking about the White House East Wing renovation when a reporter asked him about Charlie Kirk's assassination. Kimmel said on his show at the time that, quote, many in MAGA land are working very hard to capitalize on the murder of Charlie Kirk. That led to Kimmel being suspended for nearly a week before being put back on air.
The president and first lady now calling on ABC to fire late-night host Jimmy Kimmel for a joke he made late last week referring to Melania as, quote, an expectant widow, just days before an attempted assassination on her husband. Now, the comments were made during a parody of the White House Correspondents Dinner that aired on Thursday night. During his monologue, the comedian took several jabs at the president before addressing Melania.
Am I right, Dog the Bounty Hunter? That's right. We miss you so much. And of course, our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
Now, the First Lady taking to social media today to call the jokes, quote, corrosive, and said they deepen the political sickness within America. The president following up with another post shortly after saying Jimmy Kimmel should be immediately fired by Disney and ABC. Now, this isn't the first time Kimmel has been in hot water with the Trump administration. Last year, ABC briefly suspended the late-night show amid comments he made following the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. ABC, Disney, and Kimmel's publicist have not yet responded to requests for comments at this time.
Just 2 days prior to the shooting, ABC's late-night host Jimmy Kimmel disgustingly called First Lady Melania Trump an expectant widow. Who in their right minds says a wife would be glowing over the potential murder of her beloved husband? And having experienced what I did with the First Lady on Saturday night, I can tell you that she was anything but that.